Hi guys, welcome to week 3 video. So on this video we're going to go through vet handling. So we're going to try and teach our dogs to stand still while the vets are checking them all over, but also when we're doing a health check with our dogs. It can also be used while you're grooming your dog, or it can also be used at times that like you need to restrain them to have a look at certain things. So if they've got like a thorn in their paw, for example, or if you need to trim their nails and stuff like that. So it's a good little kind of exercise to practice with your dogs. So we're going to go through 3 different things or 3 different methods in quite a quick succession. So we're not going to go through them in too much detail. But if you want to know anything more about these kind of methods, let us know and we'll be able to give you some more information. But we'll go through the basics at the moment. So one of those things is a chin target. So I'll quickly show you what I mean by chin target. Chin, them holding their chin on our hand, and then we can do whatever we want. We can check the ears, we can check the eyes, check the teeth if we need to. Good, and reward. That's the chin target, and we'll go through that in a second. The next one is a simple stand. So stand, and then you can check down their legs if needed. You can check down their feet, you can check on their tail, you can check round their front legs. Good, and reward. And the final one is just literally a collar hold with a can I see. So we're looking for basically being able to restrain a dog gently with a collar, holding that for a second, and the other hand can go down and have a check around their feet, around their legs, around their ears, around their eyes, around their mouth. So we're looking at a couple of different things there and how to build it all up. Good, yeah, good boy. Well done. So it's really important with vet handling and like grooming that we not got the treat directly in front of their face while we're going get the treat while we're fiddling around with them, because we want to try not to overshadow the them feeling uncomfortable. We want to make sure we're looking at their body language, reading whether they're happy or not, and if they're backing away from us, we don't carry on. We just try and make it easier for them. So if I was to hold a treat in front of his nose and then try and check his ears and maybe check in his eyes or check somewhere that's painful, he's not necessarily going to tell me that he doesn't like that. He's going to stay there because he wants the treat. So we want to try and have it so we've got no treats in our hand when we're doing these behaviours, and rewarding after they've displayed comfortable behaviours. So I'll just demonstrate quickly on the can I see to start with, so that you can have a go with your dogs at home. So first of all, don't do it while they're bouncing and being all happy and excited. We want to try and do it when they're nice and calm and relaxed. So maybe a bit of settle first, or maybe a bit of on your bed training or sit in a wait, so that you can can get them to calm down a little bit. When they're a bit calmer, ask them to do a nice little sit in front of you. Ready? Come here. And a sit. And before you reach out, just say, can I see? Hold their collar. Good. And reward. All it literally is at this point is that can I see, hold their collar, and then reward after. Can I see? Hold their collar. Good. And reward. And you notice I'm rewarding after I've done the behaviour. And if they was to back away, if he was to get worried, if he was to be a bit unsure, I'd literally say, can I see? Hold your hand out. Good. Reward. For them coming towards it. So we're not trying to coax or trick them into staying with us. We're trying to ask them if they're happy for us to continue. Once you've got that, when you've got the collar hold, then we can start moving our other hand in, so we can start touching somewhere that they first of all feel secure. Ready? Sit. Can I see? And then the other hand comes in, has a look round their shoulder potentially, because that might be somewhere they're comfortable with. Good. And reward. And again, can I see? Down their shoulder. Maybe down their leg a bit. Good. Somewhere that they feel a little bit more uncomfortable, but not necessarily really uncomfortable. So you've got to try and get to a stage where if you know somewhere that your dog doesn't like being touched, like their ears, their eyes, their mouth, try and think of a way of getting there without them feeling uncomfortable. Because you want to try and, like for example, if you start from the shoulder, you've got a lot of different places to go. So can I see? The shoulder. And then you can go up to the head. You can have a look in the ear. Good. And reward. But go really slow. If you feel your dog's getting uncomfortable, getting a bit tense, doing a bit of lip licking, maybe they've got their ears back, their tail under, trying to back away, maybe just go back a few steps to try and make them feel a bit more comfortable with it, rather than pushing them further and further. So if your dog's not comfortable with that certain thing, don't carry on doing it. Make sure you go back a few paces. So that's the first one, the can I see, which is literally just the collar hold and having a look around the dog's body, maybe lifting a leg, lifting another leg, and then building on that. So that's one of the ones that's a bit easier to work on because it's literally just holding their collar. The other two, so the stand and basically stand still, a little bit like you do with show dogs. So like when you're doing the stand and then the tail comes up. So I say the tail comes up. Good. That's basically what we're going to try and work towards. So to start this off, you can have a treat in your hand, but we're not going to be touching them at this point. So we're going to go back to the first couple of sessions where we did a bit of a stand, so a sit, down and stand. So from the sit position, or even if they are standing already, we can just ask them to do that behaviour and reward. So all I want them to do from a sit is come up, stand, good, reward. Have another treat in the hand, good, reward, and release. So all we're looking for is them staring at a hand, good, right on it, and getting rewarded for it. Staring at a hand, good, reward. Staring at a hand, good, reward. So do that quite a few times until they've got used to it. And then what we want to try and do is build up not having a treat in this hand at all. So this hand's got treats in, this one's not. Ready? Stand, good, and reward. Ready? Stand, good, and reward. So we can do the false law, like there's no treat in the hand, they're following hand signal and then getting rewarded for it. Obviously this is all going to take quite a bit of time at home, so make sure you go slow with it, don't expect them to go straight into it. AJ's learned it over a few months before, and then recently we've just started to back up again. And we want to try and build up to the stage where we can go, right, stand without a treat in our hand, nothing in this one, and then we can just run on our hand across their back, good, and reward. So that they know that there's no treat here, they're not staying there because they want the treat, they're staying there because we've asked them to, and if they feel uncomfortable, they can move away. They've got the freedom to move away. And then again, the same thing as what we did before, the stand, around their shoulder, going on their head, maybe going around their back of their bum, good, and reward. So you notice there, he did a little bit of a flinch when I went onto his head because he was a bit uncomfortable with that. So I just came away and rewarded. So making sure you read your dog's body language and make sure you look at what they're doing and what they're trying to tell us. The final, if you wanted to pause it here and have a go at any of those behaviours, by all means pause it here and have a go at home, because I'm going to go on to the next thing now, which is the chin target. So you pause it now, have a go, and then we'll move on. Brilliant. So I know there's quite a lot in this video, and this is the last thing, which is the chin target. So a chin target is a good behaviour to learn, either as just a little bit of a trick, or whether it like be kind of something that's mental stimulating for your dog, just having a bit of fun. And also it can be used again during the grooming or the handling, because when you've got the chin, you're then able to look in their teeth, because then you've got your hand underneath the chin already. You can look in their ears, their eyes, you can ask them to do a paw if you wanted to. So while they're in the chin target, you can do quite a few different things. Even when you're at the vets, they might feel a bit more secure having their chin on your hand and you giving them a fuss, rather than them looking at the vets and being uncomfortable. So if you get them to target your hand and then they look at you and you can keep an eye on the body language, if they get uncomfortable and turn around at the vet, you can always just say to the vet, oh, just stop for a second while we do something else. Or even when they're doing a grooming session, or if you're having their feet cut, or if there's anything painful with your dog, you can then tell when they're a bit uncomfortable with those things. So chin target, the way we want to do it, again, you can have a treat in your hand to start with, but we're not going to be using the treat to keep them in position while we do like touching around the head. All we're going to do, that thumb is facing forwards towards the dog because it's a lot easier that way, and we're just going to cup our hand slightly and we're going to offer it down low, good, and reward. For dogs that don't necessarily do it straight away, the hand is not going to be all the way down because then they'll do a paw. Good. We're going to have it so that it's almost level with their head, so that it's making sure that they've got more chance of putting their head on rather than their paw. For dogs that already know paw, or their paw comes up automatically, we want to try and have a treat in our hand, and we're going to lure them in to the position. Good. And then we're going to reward again, and then again. Good. So we're rewarding them for being in that position. Good. But we're luring them in with the treat to start with. When they get that, that's when we're going to do the same as we did last few times, which is using no treat in our hand. And we're going to lure them in without any treat, but pretending. So we're going to lure them in pretending, good, and reward from your bag or your pocket, good, and reward for them holding their nose there, brilliant, good. So that's kind of how we're going to progress it, and obviously I know that from the last two behaviours we've done, it's quite obvious what we're going to progress it to. So nothing in our hand, we're asking him to do a chin, and then we're going to put our hand on top of his head, stroke around his neck, good, and reward. So we just try to use that as our starting point. He does it, and then we can then start wherever we want to start. Chin. We can start on the shoulder again if you need to. So if they're a bit uncomfortable with things, start on the shoulder, good, and reward. But it does take a bit of time to build up that hold, so just go slow with it all. And the starting off with the chin targets is definitely hard with some dogs. So I only went through that really quickly and briefly, so make sure you give us a call or send us a message even if you wanted to discuss kind of how to progress it a bit more. But hopefully that's got you on the starting point of how to do the vet handling and the grooming and things like that. So let us know if you need any support with it, but thank you very much. That's everything for today. Good.